Hi, we're Carmen and Riley from Active Galactic Videos.
We're excited to be here at Lowell Observatory today, where we're going to be checking out some historic Northern Arizona telescopes.
We are outside the Pluto Discovery Telescope, housed in the A. Lawrence Lowell Dome. This telescope was built and commissioned by A. Lawrence Lowell in 1928 to 1929 to search for Planet X, the theoretical ninth planet that his brother Percival Lowell thought must exist.
The dome still moves, the telescope still moves. I guess the telescope would still work, but it's really expensive to get glass plates or X-ray film. That's the two things that we need for it. And because of historic preservation, we don't try to mount a CCD camera to it or anything like that.
This is a 13-inch refracting astrograph. An astrograph means that it's designed to take astrophotography images. This particular telescope uses photographic plates and took approximately 1 hour exposure times. And this is how they discovered Pluto. On February 18, 1930, observatory assistant Clyde Tombaugh first discovered Pluto. He did this by comparing images on photographic plates taken 6 days apart by this very telescope. Later on, Henry Giclis used his telescope to conduct a proper motion survey, where he studied the actual physical motion of celestial objects.
Boxing glove went on in the 60s, I guess. People were kind of locking their heads on it.
What's up with a boxing glove?
A big steel thing.
This telescope was actually moved to the Anderson Mesa Dark Sky site till the early 1990s, when it was returned right here to Mars Hill to be put on display for public viewing.
We're at the Clark Telescope now. The Clark Telescope was commissioned by Percival Lowell himself in 1894, and it was actually constructed in Massachusetts. It was constructed there and then disassembled and then shipped all the way to Flagstaff on a train. And then they had to unload it from the train, bring it up Mars Hill where the observatory is, and reassemble the telescope up on top of the hill.
I can't even imagine what it was like to try and get it from the train yard all the way up that hill.
It's called the Clark Telescope because it was built by Alvin Clark and Sons firm in Massachusetts. The Clark Refractor was originally assembled inside a different dome, and that dome was too small for the telescope. It's a 24-inch refractor, so it's very, very long, and it didn't fit in that dome well, so they had to build this dome behind me, especially for the scope.
They tried to float the dome in salt water for X amount of years, and that didn't work out. And so then these are like 1958 Ford sedan tires that have worked great ever since. Every once in a while we have to inflate them. When we did the restoration, one of these was missing a hubcap, so our restoration team searched all over the country and actually found an original hubcap for it.
Percival Lowell actually decided that Flagstaff maybe wasn't the best place for his observatory fairly early on. He decided he wanted to move it to Mexico, so he disassembled the telescope again and shipped it on a train again down to Mexico and reassembled it in Mexico. And it was actually there for about a year until he changed his mind and decided that Mexico is actually not the best place and shipped it back up to Flagstaff. Of course, had disassembled it again, shipped it back up to Flagstaff, and reassembled it again here, and it's been here ever since then.
So it'd be really dark in here, and more often than not they couldn't find their paper or whatever. So there's actually, you can walk around the dome, but this is probably the best spot of it. But there's actually all these drawings from who knows when they were trying to document all their research and what they were finding. So you can kind of go through, and you know, if you knew what they were talking about, you may be able to get some of that. So the story goes that before this protective coating was on there. When we would get heavy rains, the rain would seep through and get into the metal, which was starting to rust, and the rust colored rain would then run out the bottom of these doors and down the stairs, kind of giving that crazy illusion that, you know, maybe there was blood running out of his tomb. There's a lot of fun stuff that goes into Lowell Observatory, and this is just one of the many fun stories.
All right, do you want me to cue you guys?
Yeah.